I always love when I get a chance to see the beautiful face and hair and beard of Don LaGreca. He has dropped in, getting ready for his show.
You didn't have to put me on.
I'd love to have you on.
That's not my angle. I just wanted to. I don't get to see you that often.
No
I wanted to come in and say hello.
I was on with Carlin and Bart. And,
you were?
Yeah, absolutely.
How are they doing? I don't get to see them.
Terrific. Carlin told a story about he dated a girl in college, broke up with her. 8 years later, she showed up at the Fan, and I said, I never thought you had that in you, that a woman would want you so badly. And he said, once you have Carlin, he said, once you go fat, you can't go back.
Is that what it is?
That's what he said.
So she started working at the Fan because she wanted to get back with him?
No. She showed up at the...
meaning...
Just the pop in 8 years later.
Really?
I mean, you see that with... I mean, I could see that with, George Clooney, but Carlin...
I had a girl that I was seeing at the time call up the call-in line at the Fan when I was doing updates as a way to try to get in touch with me when I had already broken things off. And that was awkward.
Then did you talk to her?
No.
Is she still out there?
To the best of my knowledge, yeah. I mean, I'm not going, scrolling through the obits or anything, but I think she's still out there. Well, this is like 96, man. That's a long time ago.
If you're still out there, the number's 1-800-919-ESPN.
I'm not even going to throw the name in because somebody will call claiming.
Right.
No, that's I'm surprised. I didn't hear that story.
Yeah.
Had a hankering for Carlin?
A big hankering. And he said that in college. How about this? He said right now he's about 305. He said in college he was pushing 350.
Well,
350.
When I first met him in like 96, he was a lot bigger than he is now. Yeah. But it was different because he was younger. So it was almost kind of forgivable.
But he wears it well. He doesn't look 305.
No, he's a good-looking guy. It's strange. You're right. I mean, I don't think it's healthy for him to be at that weight.
I yelled at Bart. I mean, Bart is a physical specimen. Why doesn't he push it on Chris? And he said, I tried.
Well, how hard did he try?
He said he tried to get him on protein.
Stop.
He said, but then Chris would eat like protein cookies every single day. So you can't do it every day.
Well, you never took me aside when I was repugnant. Not once. When I was dressing poorly, the only thing, the only intervention you had was on the tidy whities. That's it.
And also, I told you about the mullet. You don't care what I have to say.
But mullet, I didn't care at that point because that was during COVID.
I took you aside.
But I'm saying, but that was a choice that I made. I was wandering around, needing help, and you didn't help me. I was overweight. I had the stupid goatee, which went out in '98.
I had my own issues.
No, you looked great.
Yeah,
you were good.
Right now, by the way, I don't know if you could notice. I went at the end of the Yankee season. I was 244.
Okay, which
really pushing it.
But you're tall.
Yeah, but still, it was too much. And today, I weighed in. What do you think the number was?
218.
217.
Oh, nice.
How about you?
You do look great. You do look great.
All right, so I wanted to ask you about the Islander Ranger game, which I watched.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, because Optima's back, so I said, let me watch the Ranger. Yeah, and why would the Islanders play that poorly? I mean, that was an important game for them. They probably sealed their fate.
They're not that great.
But they get blown out 5-1 at home.
Well, you get your goaltender, which is supposed to be the best part of your team, Ilya Sorokin, gives up 5 goals on 11 shots.
He can't beat Shesterkin. It's weird. It's like something's in his head.
But Shesterkin's also under 500 against the Islanders. It's kind of strange. They can't score. Do you realize the Islanders going into that game, and I don't think it's changed, had the 31st kill and the 32nd power play.
Not good.
How are you supposed to function when you're that poor at special teams? And Barzell's been hurt, and they've got other injuries too. But no, they play. I think they're done. I know mathematically they're not, but after a loss like that, they get a game against Boston.
Lou to make trades?
I guess if you feel like there's a couple of pieces you want to trade, go ahead. But you probably would understand this. Malkin and Ledecky with a brand new building, probably C. If we can sneak in, we've got the goaltender. I want to try to fill that building. I mean, March 7th is the deadline. So that's coming up next week. So you're going to have, 18 to 20 games left in the season. I don't know how many of them will be home games. If you're the Islanders, can you afford to have an empty building and be done? Or are you going to try to sell the fans, hey, maybe we can sneak in, make a run? I mean, they're only, 5 points out of the playoff spot.
But jumping over teams, too.
No, I don't think it's going to happen.
Right.
But when you're the Rangers, you can send out a letter and say, we're going to rebuild, right? And you don't have to worry about killing your fan base because you're the Rangers. There's certain teams that can do that. But there's other teams like the Islanders, like the Devils, like maybe the Columbus Blue Jackets, what they're going through right now, see value in sneaking in because it means a couple of home gates, fill your building. I'm not saying it's the right thing, but wouldn't you think Malkin and Ledecky would probably pressure Lou to say, listen, let's not sell off. Let's not give up when we still have 6 weeks left in the season after this.
Well, the pressure, I think that's on them. Do they have the guts to get rid of Lou?
If you think Lou's the problem.
But I mean, he hasn't built a winning team.
But wouldn't the resume suggest that there wouldn't be an outcry if they did? Now, you'd say, well, wait a minute, we went to the third round back-to-back years, but that ship certainly has sailed here, right? They had their opportunity to win the Cup, didn't win it. If they missed the playoffs this year, that's back-to-back years missing the playoffs. And before that,
in a new building,
out in the first round. Like that's what you're looking at over the last couple of years, right? Of not being able to really make any kind of a run. And Lou didn't have success in Toronto. His last Cup was in 2003. Now, I think the guy is amazing, but can you look at it and say we have to go in a different direction?
Isn't he closing in on 80?
Yeah. But never mind the age, is that you start to distance yourself from those 2 runs that they had, and you say, is this really where we need to go here? Would the fans go nuts? I mean, you can ask an Islander fan. Would an Islander fan go nuts if they fired? Are you going to let him fire another coach? Are you going to fire Patrick Waugh? I think Patrick Waugh is doing a good job. I just don't think they got a ton of talent. So whose fault's that? Is it the coach's fault? How many coaches are you going to go through, right? You went, Torts walked away, and this is now 2 coaches removed from that. You going to keep firing coaches?
Right. Well, he does have a habit of doing that. He did that with the Devils.
He did it with the Devils because there was success. 3 Stanley Cups, 3 different coaches.
Yeah.
He fired Robbie Ftorek with 8 games left in the season when they fell out of first place, and they turned around and won a cup. But, Trotz walks away, and then, Lambert, you fire him. You're going to fire Patrick Waugh. At what point do you look in the mirror and say, maybe I just haven't built a good enough team?
And he is legendary, so there's a lot of heft attached to it if you get rid of him.
But the Devils said, it was time. Toronto's, you can say that, Michael.
Right.
You can say, but I'm just wondering, would an Islander fan be, oh my God, I can't believe they fired Lou? Or would they go, okay, it's time for something new? I think they would probably lean on the latter.
Were they upset when they fired Milbury?
No, they were not.
Now, in that game, they also the Rangers lost Miller and Fox. What's the? Do we know what the deal is with them?
Well, no, Fox went on the IR.
Okay,
so he's on or the injured list. And so he's on the injured list. So was that 10 games?
Well, his shoulder.
Shoulder.
Yeah.
They say upper body, but the way he came down, the way he was nursing the arm when he went off the ice. I haven't got the latest on Miller. They did call up. They already had Zach Jones up. They called up another defenseman, Robertson. So that they might have to go with 2 new defensemen in the game against Toronto. They play Friday and Sunday, and that I think they found something with that 4th line, the way Brodzinski played with Rempe and Othman. But you're like 2 defensemen. That's not very good. But they're only 2 out of a playoff spot. I still think they're better than all the teams they're chasing after. You saw Ottawa lose again the other night. That's 5 straight losses for them. I don't think Boston's very good. They got like a minus 26 goal differential. I don't know how Columbus is doing it. They've had tons of injuries. Of course, they lost Johnny Gaudreau during the offseason. I don't know how they're doing it. I think they'll fade. So I think the Rangers will make the playoffs. But let's see if these injuries turn out to be a major problem for them. Fox is a big loss, huge loss. Hopefully it's not going to go any longer than the required games out because of being on the injured list.
We're talking with Don LaGreca. You know that voice. I spent 22 years talking with him. Now he's on Don Hahn and Rosenberg. So let's get to that. How's the new setup working out? Is Peter more palatable without me around? What do you think?
I think he's thriving.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean,
so he's enjoyed me being gone.
I don't know if he enjoy, but he definitely is taking on his new role with a vigor and a sense of enthusiasm.
You probably miss me a little bit more.
Oh, of course. Well, because wouldn't that make sense? We worked together for 22 years. You work with him for 9.
Right.
That's double. That's more than double. So really,
yes, it is.
And I don't know. You don't have a lot in common with Peter.
No, it would probably be nothing.
I'm really looking forward to how we're going to handle this baseball season.
With Peter?
It's going to be different.
Yeah? You think he's going to be into it, locked in? Isn't this the time that you guys have your meeting, though? I mean, are they going to get upset that you're talking here?
Probably.
Yeah?
I apologize for that.
No. Don't apologize to me.
If John Winthrop's listening, that's who I was just apologizing to.
Oh.
Has nothing to do with you.
Gotcha.
No, I'll go do the meeting. I'll go. I didn't come in here I wasn't fishing to get on the air.
I'd love to have you on, though, whenever you want. If you want to do 2 hours with me, you feel like stretching your lungs, do it.
I should get into the meeting.
Because I listen all the time when I'm in the car, and I don't think you talk as much as you do when I was there.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
yeah. I think they've cut you back from 70% because Peter talks more and Alan talks more than I do.
There is something to that, right?
Yeah.
Because Peter's now involved in every segment.
Right.
That was not the case during your show.
Right, and I think Alan is more of a talkative host than I am.
Well, especially now
I was
we're
more
in
of
his
a point
wheelhouse.
guard.
No.
Yeah, no. Alan's more of Jalen Brunson. He's going to go to the hoop a lot.
Oh yeah, he's going to score. He's
Yeah,
got a
I know.
lot to say.
I'm looking for assists.
He's got a lot to say, but this is also the time for him, right? We've got the Knicks and everything that's happened with them. It's been fun, but listen, I agree. This was important. This relationship was pretty important. So it's
What, the two of us?
Yes, I always thought it was.
I guess it wasn't to Peter. He doesn't even drop by when I'm in the studio. It's sad. Although I did get a text from him the other day because one of the things I got him.
Tickets or something?
No. I got he and his wife a baby Bjorn.
Okay.
And I said, this calms kids down. It's unbelievable. And he actually said, look at what this did. And she was crying, and they put her in the baby arm, and it just shut her up.
You are a good gift giver when it comes with the kids. You do well for us.
I do well. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Do you listen when you drive in at all?
Oh yeah.
You sure?
I'm usually parking right when you start because I try to get in early. I got to make up for the other guy.
What, you get in at 1?
No, I'm usually parking the car, and then I get lunch, and by the time I get up to the office, it's like 1:20, 1:25.
So when you say make up for the other guy, you mean Peter?
Yes.
Gotcha. All right, go to the meeting, Don. Good to hear from Don LaGreca. You could hear so much more of him starting at 3 on Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg.